Hello and welcome to another episode of Unleashing Brilliance. I am your host, Janine Garner, and it is fabulous to see you here today. Now, I want to ask you this question. Have you ever listened to someone on a stage, in a meeting, on a podcast, or even one of those feisty little Instagram reels and thought, damn, I wish I could speak like that? You know what? You're not alone. In fact, I've lost track of how many times I've stepped off stage, whether it be corporate keynotes, government panels, women's leadership summits, workshops, or even intimate boardroom gigs. And every single time someone has come up to me and whispered, I wish I could do what you do. And my answer every single time is, you can. But it's not by trying to be like me or trying to be like someone else. It's also not by being professional or appropriate or some polished robot thought leader trying to fit a trend. You do it by sounding like you. And that's what today is all about. I don't want to talk about you becoming a copycat. What I want to talk about is you finding and owning your voice, because we are living in a world full of same sounding noise, and you've got to stand out. So right now, I'm currently prepping for 2 full days of workshops with an amazing corporate client of mine. No fluff days with incredible group of executives, of individuals that are wanting to build their internal positioning and their authority in their industry. They want to redefine what influence looks like, and they want to do it on their terms. And as I've been reviewing keynotes and workshops from the past year, one truth keeps punching me in the face, and it's this truth that the people who truly shift rooms don't sound perfect. They sound real. They are present. They are passionate. They're truthful. They're human. And guess what? They are unforgettable because they sound like themselves. They just turned that. They amplified themselves all the way up. Now, I want to talk about the first draft trap and why you actually need to burn it. You see, every speaker I coach, every writer I support, every client shaping their IP, we always start with their shitty first draft. And then, usually, more often than not, we toss it in the bin. Not because it's garbage, but because it really isn't you. Usually it doesn't sound like you. It's a stitched together script of what you think you should say. It's full of polished paragraphs or all those buzzwords and those insert applause here lines that sound like they were pulled from some TED talk or run through ChatGPT. But here's the deal. Imitation actually creates invisibility, and intention creates impact. So I'm challenging you to always toss that first draft. Absolutely right, the shitty first draft, but toss it. Toss it and ask yourself, what do I really want to say? I think there are 3 brilliance triggers, 3 ways of sounding like you. And the first way is to lead with what lights you up. You know, before you post, before you pitch, before you present, I want you to ask yourself, what do I want my audience to feel, to know, or do differently because they've listened or heard this? Because when your message comes from fire and from inside, from your passion, that's where it catches. And whether you're speaking to 5 people or to 5,000 people, when your message is personal, it becomes powerful. The second thing I want you to think about is using your real stories. You know, even those sweaty palmed ones. This isn't about therapy from the stage, though. This is about using those stories that are going to help get your point across and help people remember the message. This isn't about stats. It's not about frameworks. It's not your logo. Here's the thing, the people listening or watching your content, they remember the time that you might have bombed the pitch, the moment when you spoke up at work and your voice cracked, the story about your kid calling you out for being distracted during dinner. That might have been me. Your audience doesn't need perfection. They need proof that you've been there, that you've walked the fire, and that through walking the fire, you also came out the other side with learnings. That's what your audience needs to hear. And the third thing I want you to think about is amplifying your weird, amplifying the very thing that makes you different. Now, my brand personality is rebel magician, and the rebel in me needs to say this. Your quirks are your secret weapon. Your too much is someone else's. Thank God she said that. You're not for everyone, and nor should you be. And that's a bloody gift. You don't want to be for everyone. You want to be yourself. So whether you are the animated one, the quiet one, the deep thinker, the truth dropper, or the sassy realist, I want you to turn that up. Your voice isn't just for stages. What I'm talking about today isn't just about keynotes. This is about how you show up, how you build your position, how you amplify yourself. It's about how you write your posts, how you send out your proposals, how you pitch your idea to that individual, to that journalist, to that boardroom. It's how you respond in the comments. It's how you email your list. Your voice is absolutely everywhere. So stop trying to be someone else. Stop copycatting. Stop auto-tuning it so that it sounds like what the algorithm wants, and give us you. Unfiltered, unapologetic, and unforgettable. Because we need you now more than ever. We're drowning in noise. We're drowning in recycled strategies of copycat posts, of repurposed posts. We're drowning in coaches copy-pasting each other's content like it's a bad game of telephone. But the people that stand out, they own their narrative. They lead with heart. They show up heartfelt, and they show up voice first. And it's not just more engaging, it's more effective, because when people hear your real voice, they lean in, they trust you, they buy from you. And so this week, I want you to think about this. I want you to pick one piece of communication from last week. It could be a post, a client proposal, a sales deck, an email. And I want you to look at it. I want you to get on that balcony and look at it with perspective and ask yourself, does this sound like me? Or does this sound like a corporate robot trying to win gold at the Buzzword Olympics? If it's the latter, I want you to rewrite just one section. Make it funnier, grittier, realer, youer. That's your challenge. Because when you sound like you don't need to be loud to be heard. You just need to be true. If this podcast episode gave you something to think about, or even yet something to change, please pass it on. Please tag me, share it with someone hiding their magic behind a vanilla voice. Or better yet, DM me and tell me how you're turning up your volume this week, because I'd love to know. And if this podcast has helped you show up more, help you show up more boldly, please leave me a little love note here or wherever you're listening to your podcast, because it means more than you know, and it makes sure we get this message out loud and clear. Until next week, keep showing up, keep sounding like you, and keep unleashing that brilliance.